But I think the biggest headline from the budget has been the big tax benefits that have been given by the Finance Minister. This was the biggest ask, Akshata, this morning when we were talking about that this is the class that really wants attention from the government this time. There needs to be a focus on the lower strata, the lower tax bracket people, and those have been really kept in focus. No taxes up to 12 lakh rupees is what is the biggest headline coming in. So how do you really get the benefit is something that we'll try and help you understand. First up, let's understand what is the exemption. So up until now in the new tax regime, all of these changes are in the new tax regime, mind you, all the viewers. So until now, incomes up to 3 lakh rupees were tax exempt. Now this has been increased by one more additional lakh rupee, which means incomes up to 4 lakh rupees are tax exempt completely. There is no tax liability on you. Beyond this, up until 12 lakh rupees, the tax rebate extension has been given to you. So in case your annual income is 12 lakh rupees, then you can actually take the benefit of that tax rebate that the government is extending. Additional to that, there is the standard deduction that was made a change last time around. It now stands at 75,000 rupees. So put together 12.75 lakh. If your annual income is below that, you are liable to pay no taxes. You get the benefit of tax rebate right there. But there is additional benefit beyond the 12.75 lakhs as well. In case you were still paying taxes under the new tax regime, there is still an additional benefit because there are changes in the new tax regime in various tax slabs and the tax rates which are put for you, but I will explain to you how these changes are being measured. So we will take the incomes beyond 12 lakhs to explain this to you better, because already up until 12.75 lakhs, you can take that benefit and pay no taxes. So for instance, what the government has said, in case your annual income is 16 lakh rupees and you were paying taxes under the new tax regime, so far you were giving 1.7 lakh rupees in taxes. Now, with the new tax slab, you will be liable to pay a tax of 1.2 lakhs, which means there is a straight benefit of 50,000 rupees that you end up getting. Next slab is 20 lakhs. Say, for instance, you were in the 20 lakhs bracket. Up until now, 2.9 lakh rupees was the outgo from you for taxes. Now it's come down to 2 lakhs. So 90,000 rupees is what you stand to benefit with the new tax slabs that have come in, which are already put on your screen so that you can refer to them. For those earning 24 lakhs and above that, there's a straight benefit of over 1.1 lakh rupees that you end up saving. So over a lakh of savings on taxes is what you get, and that's what Finance Minister and Prime Minister Narendra Modi are cheering at this point in time.
So, you know, the benefits isn't just for those who fall in the salary bracket of 12 lakhs or below. It's for many others also, because of the fact that you're seeing the entire change up in the tax slabs. What this does is essentially, Sakshi, because you also highlighted that this is only in the new tax regime.
Yes.
What it does is it kind of encourages people to jump over from the old tax regime to the new tax regime. Let's just talk about that one aspect of the 12 lakh income. How does it become tax-free? Important to highlight here, and the word that Sakshi used is rebate, not exemption. How really has that happened? Essentially, the rebate under Section 87A has been hiked to 60,000. Earlier, it was 25,000. So, because of this change from 25,000 to 60,000, it's effectively made income up to 12 lakh rupees essentially tax-free. That's why everyone's saying nil tax for this particular amount. Section 87A is only valid till incomes up to 12 lakh rupees. This made income up to 7 lakh rupees tax-free earlier. Now that's been increased to 12 lakh because, like I explained, from 25,000 it's gone up to 60,000. So as per these slabs, tax on income of up to 12 lakh rupees is 60,000. So gets negated because of Section 87A. 5% on 4 to 8 lakh rupees is 20,000. Similarly, 10% on 8 to 12 lakhs is 40,000 rupees. So overall, if you're a salaried individual under the new tax regime, these are the SOPs that you get to enjoy. But if we break it down, Sakshi, and you explained that in great detail of what it was like before and now. If we just put that out in simplistic 2 columns there of an earlier versus now, look at those figures. And this is in percentage. You were explaining that, of course, in the amount it means for every single one of our viewers. Up to 3 lakhs was 0% earlier. Now that's been increased by 1 lakh. So actually, if you look at the exemption, not the rebate, the exception, that's essentially up to 4 lakh rupees. That's just 1 lakh rupees increase in that too.
Yes, absolutely. And you see, what's also made simpler to understand and for you to remember is that if you look at closely the key brackets that they have now given of each salary bracket with corresponding tax rate that you have to now pay, the table of 4 plays out for you. So 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. For you to really understand and remember which tax or which income bracket do you fall under, and therefore 5 table is playing out on the right side of the column. 5, 10%, 15%, 20, 25, 30. So a table of 4 playing out for you to understand which is the income tax bracket that you come in, or the annual income bracket that you come in. And for you to easily understand how much tax do you really need to pay, there is a 5 table. So now it's made even simpler. Otherwise, people would find it very difficult to remember what is the tax bracket right there.
And just look at that difference. 30% was on salaries above 15 lakh earlier. Now it'll be about 24 lakhs. So that's a sizable difference that you're looking at. And at every income bracket, you're seeing a change essentially. And I know now can be a bit misleading. It's not going to come into effect ASAP. It's going to come into effect from April, financial year 2025-2026. So the next few months, you'll still stick to the earlier tax bracket, but it's just a matter of a few months before you can kind of reap the benefits of this new tax slab. That is, of course, if you choose the new tax regime. There are no changes in the old tax regime. So that simplifies it for you. Yes, Sakshi.
Yeah, so and that's also because no changes have been made to the old tax regime. We were already expecting why some sweeteners are being added to the new tax regime is because the government really wants more and more people to choose the new tax regime, which means it wants you to not ask for any deductions, exemptions, benefits for investing for yourself in the new tax regime, but at that cost, they're actually charging you less when it comes to taxes. So you can give them less taxes, but please do not ask them on exemptions and deductions. That's the philosophy. Plus, the finance minister did announce that next week in the parliament, they will be bringing up the new income tax bill. What I expect and suspect is that next week in that bill is when we will get to know what exactly is the plan for the old tax regime. How soon will it actually be going away? Because already whenever you file your taxes, the default scheme is the new tax regime, and that could be the sunset announcement for old tax regime next week.
I think the announcement of the new income tax bill that's coming up next week has got a few people jittery, but Sakshi telling us it's only perhaps a question of how they're going to face off the old tax regime. And let's hope, Sakshi, you're right on that count.